Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about feeling lost in your 20s and some things I have learned how to navigate this. Before we go ahead, don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, let me know if you've enjoyed this video. If you're new here, welcome, thank you for joining. My name is Courtney Osage. I do everything self-love, self-growth, self-development on this channel, and the guiding principle is God. If you've been rocking with me and you've been here before, thank you for sticking with me. Now let's get right into today's topic. So this topic, feeling lost in your 20s, is something that I can't talk about it enough, because I've done a video, I think I've done 2 videos actually, I have taken down, and I just felt to come and give a proper updated video again, because I feel like it's something that a lot of people will go through and a lot of people are going through, and if you haven't gone through it yet, you're most likely going to go through it, because I dealt with this in my early 20s, down to feeling 20s are a weird phase, everyone's in different phases, you're still young, but you're still trying to figure out yourself, but you're still trying to basically chase your goals, you're still trying to find out who you are as a person, you're still trying to probably become self-aware, you're getting into relationships, some people are getting married. It's just a weird phase. Some people are going to uni, some people are starting great jobs, like they're just different, very different interesting phases to your 20s. Now if you're feeling lost in your 20s, I want to encourage you first of all to hang in there, because that's not the end of the story, right? I was speaking to someone in the 20s today, and they had something with at work, and they were telling me how they felt about the situation, and I was just trying to basically tell them to chill, and they were like, oh no, this is how I feel. And I remember feeling like that in my early 20s, 23 to be precise, 23 to about 25, the ghetto, because you're trying to, especially trying to figure out what you want to do, what you're doing. I was in law school, I was doing my master's in law. I think at that point it was just a tough phase of trying to find out, okay, who I am, who am I, what do I want to do, what do I want to be. You would also feel like if things don't happen immediately, things don't happen the way you want them to, or the time you want them to, it will never happen again. First of all, I just want to say that's a lie, right? There's this pressure to feel like you have to get things done within this mark or this mark, within 24 or 23 or 20 this, because if you don't do it at that age, it wouldn't happen again. I just wrote down a list of things that, because I didn't want, I really wanted to make this like a proper. So, and the first thing for me was, what I'll tell my 23-year-old self again is to hang on to God and truly trust him. So I know a lot of people were like, oh no, but I trust God, I'm a Christian and all that. Like, I'm talking like proper trust, proper going deeper. Like, if God doesn't come through for me, nothing else will happen. That kind of trust. So when you do this, you would have soft cushion to lie on. It won't be easy. Your problems are not going to disappear. Problems are going to be there, but you're going to have a sort of cushion to take you through when you're having your difficulties. By the way, I don't feel like this video is just restricted to your 20s. I feel like it's restricted to every phase of life, and I should have said that in the beginning actually. The second thing is rejection is redirection. I was talking to someone today, and the person was telling me how, I don't take rejection well, and I was just explaining how rejection is basically reshuffling. Rejection is basically trying to get you to where you need to be. I know that people think it's just something that people say to encourage you, but it's not true. It's actually when hindsight is a blessing. When you see things after they've happened, when you look back, you then realize that, oh my God, I was being redirected to the place I'm meant to be. So rejection is redirection, and you are most likely going to get that throughout your 20s and throughout life. So you get rejected from jobs, rejected from relationships, but the way I see it and the way what experience has taught me is, if you're meant to be there, you will be there, but if you're not, then God has a better plan. He will take you to where you need to be. But for that to happen, you have to go through that rejection, and even if it's painful, something that you need. So even if it's not easy at that time, I always want you to see rejection as redirection. Another thing I have learned is mistakes aren't always a bad thing. So in your 20s, you might feel like, oh God, I messed up. I know that there's some mistakes that can have like really, really bad consequences that can span years and years and years. That's fine, but that's not really what I'm talking about here. Mistakes generally are just adding to your bank of experience that will lead you through life, that will lead you through your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s. So making mistakes aren't not a bad thing. It's actually sometimes something that you need. Another thing I learned is that life is not black and white. So I'm the kind of person that I'm a straight person. I love structure. I love things to go a certain way. I love things to happen at certain times. I want things and I want them to happen now. I'm very impatient, and I'm beginning to learn that life is not black or white. And if you're in your 20s, especially year 23, 23 for me, you might feel like, oh my god, if it's not this, is this, if it's not this, there has to be. Sometimes there's a gray area. So I'm not talking about a gray area in the word of God, a gray area in being lukewarm Christian, because I feel like that's been peddled a lot in the world. But I'm talking about, generally just issues. Sometimes I used to feel, coming back to year 23 to between year 23 to 25, if things don't happen now, it means that this is failed and it wouldn't happen like that, and I've just missed the trajectory. But after that, I found out that that's not true. It's not black and white. If it doesn't happen that time and it doesn't follow that lane, it can happen at 24, it can happen at 25, it can happen at 26, like it can happen later. It's not always black and white. It's not always this and that, and that's something that I am now learning to accept. Another thing I said before, you don't have to have it all figured out. So I thought, just the same train of thought. 23, I'll give an example for me. 23, I was at law school, that you have to get a training contract, and then you grow, you become an associate, and then you become a partner at a law firm. Now, what I'm learning is that not everyone makes partners. But when I was in that stage, I thought you have to make partners. But then, as I've gone on in life, I found out that, first of all, not everyone makes partners. Second of all, there are other things you can do outside making partners, because I thought it had to be trainee, associate, making partner in the law firm. I found out that it doesn't have to go like that. I've seen people that went from being senior associate to being CEO or head legal counsel in different companies. Like, there's so many other different parts. But I had this, this stringent mindset, just linking this back to the black and white, like it has to be this, it has to be that. You might even see that before you get to the partner stage, you're not enjoying the law. So you want to become a YouTuber, you want to become a TikToker, you want to become a fashion designer, you want to learn a different skill and do something different. So it's not always like, you might get to that phase of life and just feel like, you know what, I don't want to be in this phase anymore, and make a change. So it's not always black and white, like this leads to this leads to that. I have to have it all figured out. So that there was a lot of pressure to get that training contract, because I thought, oh god, I did a lot of crying, because I thought if you miss that training contract in your second year, that's it. I remember a friend asking me, she was like, oh, what would you do if you didn't get a training contract in your second year? I didn't get it, by the way. And I was like, oh my god, I felt like, oh my god, that would be suicidal, because that's the end of my life. So if you're in your 20s and you're watching this and you feel like, oh my god, my life is coming to an end because this didn't happen, because I didn't get that internship, or because I didn't get into that, I didn't get into this, I didn't get into that, or this didn't happen this way, it's a lie. God is going to make so many other different parts. Going to be other different beautiful paths for you to follow. So it's not the end. I beat myself up over that a lot, and no, it's just garbage. Now I know better. Another thing is listening to what people do and not what they say. So I used to be a very naive person. I'm not saying I'm a sage of wisdom now, but I used to be, I used to take things at face value. So when you tell me A is A, I believe you're going to say A is A. I believe A is A, because why would you lie? Or when you say B is B, I'm like, okay, yes, B is B, why would you lie? In relationships, in friendships, all sorts of, just all sorts of aspects of life. But now I found out that some people would say A is A, because they're trying to convince you that A is A, but what they actually mean is that B is B. And so with time now, I'm learning to understand that people are more of, what their actions. So watch people's actions. How are they acting? How are they treating you? How are they, responding to things? How are they acting? Not what they're saying. It's like what we say now, like, oh, don't trust what you see on social media, because people will go, above and beyond to make you feel like, oh, this is what they want to, they want you to believe. But that's not the truth. So, I'm learning to listen to what people do, because now in hindsight, I think a lot and I'm like, oh my God, they were saying this, but their actions were actually saying that, And as I said, this is not generally what I have also learned, but I thought it would be very useful, for anyone in 20s, because I particularly struggle between the ages of 26, 23 to 25. And the other thing is, life is full of twists and turns. So, as I said, the fact that you don't get the training contract in my example doesn't mean that you will not become a millionaire in the same amount of years, or you will become a millionaire who stop. I used to think that it had to be like this, but then there might be that will lead you to that. There's a picture that everyone puts where it's like God's plan. So God's plan is so many steps and then it takes you there, but our plan is like straight, and that's really how life works. So many twists and turns, so many unexpected events. I reflect on my life sometimes and I think I did not see that coming, but it happened. So it's just, rolling with the punches, rolling with the twists and turns, and just getting better. The happy ending is complicated, or happy ending to me is complicated. I say this because of the twists and turns, there's always this and that. So that's what I found, like there's always this and that. It's not always this So, because of that, happy ending might not be what you're thinking it is or the way you're thinking it is, but it's still a happy ending and it will still lead to a happy ending. So this is another thing I've learned. Another thing is, lastly, you be okay. At the end of the day, you're going to be alright. When the Bible talks about Romans 28, 8 verses 28, that's my favorite verse, one of my favorite verses, that everything works together for those that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. I see it every day in my life when I'm like, oh, really? And because some things just happen and I'm like, oh my God, I try to freak out and all that. But then I'm reminded that everything really does work together. It comes together in small phases, it comes together in small drops, it just comes together. And at the end of the day, you're going to be alright. So if you're in your 20s, you're feeling lost, you're feeling like, oh my God, I don't know where to go, I don't know what's going to happen, I think I'm a failure, I think I'm just going through this rejection, I'm just going through this, I'm going through that. I hope this has been able to encourage you, to give you hope. You know what the Bible says? I'm just reminded of Jeremiah 29:11 here. I have a plan for you to give you hope, to prosper you and give you hope for the future. So prosperity might not look like that. Prosperity could be like do, 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 do. Prosperity could be like do, do. Prosperity comes in different shapes, forms, and different phases, and it's all a process. So if you're in your 20s, you're worried, you're feeling lost, you're feeling like you're wasting your time, you're feeling like you're not, you're a bum, you're not achieving what you want, everything's gonna work out. Do your best, leave the rest for God. And obviously, back to my first point, don't forget to put God first. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, engage with me. Let me know, are you in your 20s? Are you struggling with rejection? Are you struggling with feeling like you're failure? Are you struggling with feeling behind? Let me know. I want to talk to you guys and I will respond to you guys, as much as I can. And I'd love to hear from you guys. So leave a comment, because I feel like people like to see comments and read comments, and I enjoy it as well. I go to comment sections and I read a lot and I learn a lot. So I want to learn a lot from you guys too. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.